Welcome to Pulsar for Salesforce by Luminix. This video will provide a technical overview of the application and its capabilities. First, a quick introduction to us as a company. Luminix was founded in 2011 and our Pulsar application has been in the Salesforce App Exchange ecosystem for the past 6 years. Pulsar is used by over 6,000 companies and our customers are located all over the world and across all industries. We have worked closely with Salesforce on many deals to help customers work offline. Pulsar runs on many platforms including iOS, Android and Chromebooks, and Windows 10 laptops, desktops, and tablets. You can download it now from the Apple App Store, the Android Google Play Store, and the Windows Store. Here is a list of some of our customers. As you can see, Fortune 500 companies use the Pulsar product for their operations, and some have been our customers for over 5 years. Please read our App Exchange reviews when you get a chance. We have over 100 5-star reviews from our customers sharing their experience of working with us and with the Pulsar product. Now let us spend a minute looking at what the Pulsar product is. Pulsar is an application that runs on mobile and desktop platforms, and it has 4 key components. 1. The offline engine, which can scale to accommodate millions of records offline. 2. A rules engine that lets you run validation rules, triggers, and even flows offline. 3. Pulsar allows you to customize the user interface to suit your own organizational needs. We will see an example of this in the demo. And 4. Pulsar has built-in productivity tools including a barcode scanner, signature capture capability, geolocation, and much more. This slide summarizes the architecture of Pulsar. The first thing that I want to highlight is that there is no middleware. So your data is not stored anywhere else but on your own Salesforce org and within the Pulsar app running on the device. This fact is critically important for all of our enterprise customers. Pulsar connects to Salesforce using OAuth and communicates using their standard REST APIs over an encrypted TLS connection. As you can see, Pulsar is not just an app, but is a customizable interface to your Salesforce data while offline. You will see the power of Pulsar as we proceed through this demonstration. Now let us proceed. I am starting the demo of Pulsar on my iPad, and later I will switch to showing it running on a Windows 10 Surface tablet. This will help showcase the power and versatility of the Pulsar app across 2 very different devices. Note that while we do not demonstrate the Android version of Pulsar in this video, it works nearly identical to the Windows version shown. There are 2 perspectives to the Pulsar app: the Salesforce admin perspective and the end user perspective. For Salesforce admins, some configuration of Pulsar is necessary to run well for your organization. For the end user, we have focused on making it very simple to get started. There are just 2 steps. 1. Download the app from the appropriate app store. And 2. Log into Pulsar using your Salesforce credentials. This demo will mostly showcase the end-user experience of Pulsar, but we also touch upon certain configuration tasks performed by the Salesforce admin. Now, the very first time the user logs in is when the app downloads all the data the user needs. After this initial sync process is complete, Pulsar will only run what we call catch-up syncs. For example, when I click on the Sync Status button here, it shows me when I had a last successful sync. When I run the sync now, Pulsar is only going to run a catch-up sync, where it will download and upload only the data that was changed since the last successful sync. As you can see, the catch-up sync runs very quickly. Here are a few technical details to note about our sync engine. The Pulsar sync is not a cache. Pulsar sync is what we call a solid-state offline engine, meaning if your app crashes for any reason, or if the user logs out, or if the device loses power, the offline data is still there when the app comes back. Pulsar doesn't lose data due to these or other disruptive events. You can create, read, update, and delete Salesforce objects completely offline, subject of course to the Salesforce permissions and access controls set on those objects. Furthermore, you can create parent and child records and continue that chain without limits while offline, and Pulsar knows how to resolve those references during the next sync with Salesforce. Finally, note that the data is stored locally in an encrypted SQLite database. The Pulsar application will scale to handle massive amounts of data. For one of our customers, their end users download close to 3.2 million records for offline usage. A typical footprint is anywhere from 500,000 to 1 million records. We have benchmarked our sync engine and have measured that it takes about 30 minutes on average to sync 1 million records. It also consumes about 1.2 gigabytes of disk space. So please keep that in mind when you're thinking about disk and data usage on user devices. You can configure which objects and how much data the user will download. By default, Pulsar will fetch 2 years' worth of data and cap each per object limit at 50,000 records. So, for example, if you are downloading 10 objects, that means Pulsar caps you by default at 500,000 records. Again, you can reconfigure this limit. Now let's take a look at the Pulsar home screen. Based on the user profile, Pulsar displays the default Salesforce app and associated tabs. The user can switch Salesforce apps if desired and see the tabs change on the home screen. Let us click on the account object here. Pulsar shows the recent accounts that I have viewed. If I tap the blue label, here are all the list views for the account object. Also, if the user has permission to create that object, they will see a Create button here. Tapping on the Create button, in this org the user will be prompted to choose a record type, and then Pulsar will show the layout associated with that record type in Create mode. Let us look at an existing record. The look and feel and navigation of the Pulsar app is very much like the Salesforce mobile app, since we follow their Lightning design guidelines. The schema and layout of the object is automatically downloaded from Salesforce. You do not need to do any additional setup in order to reflect this UI here in the Pulsar app. Now let's imagine, for example, that after the end user synchronized for the first time, you as an administrator have changed your mind and added or removed a few fields from the layout, or possibly even changed permissions for the end user. The next time that user synchronizes with Salesforce, they will pick up the new layout, schema, and permissions, and Pulsar will reflect and enforce those changes automatically. Here in the Related List section, you will see all child objects related to this object. You can create a child object from this context, and that automatically establishes the parent-child relationship. You can also navigate to a child record by clicking on it. It is worth mentioning here that we support attaching files while completely offline. So if you wanted to add photos or attach a file from the file system, the Pulsar app supports doing that while completely offline. These will be uploaded to Salesforce the next time the user synchronizes. Now let us discuss how you can customize the user interface of Pulsar for your organization. We have a sample page in this org that demonstrates that functionality. I launch it from the toolbar here by clicking on this pie chart icon. It opens a page with custom UI and logic written in standard HTML and JavaScript. It is worth noting that this is similar to a VisualForce page, except that this page is written in standard HTML and JavaScript and is embedded in Pulsar and engineered to run offline. Since this page is launched from a particular record, it already has the context of that record. Custom pages can also be launched from the Pulsar home screen or can be embedded in a record layout just like you would with a VisualForce page. Briefly, it is worth noting that Pulsar does not run VisualForce pages offline. Pulsar, or any other solution for that matter, cannot run VisualForce pages offline because that would require the proprietary Apex framework that only runs on Salesforce servers. And this is why the Pulsar platform offers you the ability to write your own custom HTML and JavaScript pages. So we launched this page from the demo retail account. Note the last order number and the last order date for this customer. And it even populates the order form with the most ordered items based on the customer's purchasing history. Now I click the plus button to increment the number, and when I hit save, it will create the order based off the line items I added. Let us go to the related list and verify that the order is showing up there now. Here is the order we just created using our custom UI, and here are the related order line items we have added. Now let us go back to the custom HTML page and discuss how it is implemented. Everything you see here on this screen is written using HTML and JavaScript, and the page interacts with the local database through the Pulsar API. The way you deploy your custom page or pages is through Salesforce. Upload the HTML files and resources, including CSS and JavaScript, to the Salesforce content libraries. The Pulsar app will download the new documents on the next sync. Now let us switch gears and take a look at Pulsar running on a Microsoft Service tablet running Windows 10. Here is the home screen, and let us click into the account object. Let us look at the same account we were working with on the iPad. The layout and UI is essentially the same. Here is the related list, and you have all the child objects here. Now let us launch the custom HTML page we've seen before. Here it is, looking and behaving exactly like you have seen it do on iOS. So one thing to note here, this custom page written in HTML and JavaScript is written once but runs on all Pulsar platforms, iOS, Android, and Windows. So your customizations will seamlessly work across all platforms. We have several complex examples showcasing our customer use cases. We will be happy to walk you through some of these complex examples. Just send an email to support@luminixinc.com and we will follow up with you. Note that the free version of Pulsar only allows end users to sync a subset of standard Salesforce objects with no customizations or configuration allowed. You can try out the free version of Pulsar by downloading it from the appropriate app store and just running it. For some customers with minimal Salesforce configurations, this version of Pulsar may be all you need. Now let us take a look at how you as a Salesforce admin can configure a licensed premium version of Pulsar for your organization. This here is where you manage Pulsar Premium for your org. If you think about it, all of our customers are using the exact same Pulsar application, but it looks and behaves differently for each organization based on how it is configured. Let us take a look at a couple of examples of how that is done. This is a fairly easy process that only takes a few minutes. First, you install the Pulsar Premium App Exchange package in your org. It installs a custom object called Pulsar Settings. Here in my org, you can see the basic Pulsar Settings configuration. It took me about 5 minutes to set these up and sync the objects. I will show you 2 sample settings. The first setting has to do with declaring which objects I want my users to sync. Note that all Pulsar settings have 3 key components. Name, which is a human-readable name describing the setting. Key, which is a name parsed and understood by the Pulsar app. And value, which is a configuration value. In this case here, it is a list of all the API names of the objects for Pulsar to sync. As an aside, it is worth noting that Pulsar settings can be anything from simple booleans to more complex numeric settings or color values to lists of strings or dictionary mappings to very long strings containing offline object validation code. You can even attach files to Pulsar settings, which comes in handy for custom logos. Now this other Pulsar setting I'm showing lets you attach an image to use as the home screen background. You may have noticed the logo on the Pulsar home screen previously during this demo. This is where that image was configured. So to manage the Pulsar app deployment for your end users, you are only responsible for maintaining the Pulsar settings of your organization, and these will automatically apply to your users in the field upon their next sync. For our part, Luminix updates the Pulsar app with new functionality and bug fixes on a regular basis across all the platforms. So to conclude, Pulsar for Salesforce is a powerful app and a platform that lets you access Salesforce and also customize your business needs. If you have any questions, please contact us and we will be happy to schedule a more detailed demo for you. For more information, go to our website, luminixinc.com, or look up Pulsar for Salesforce on the App Exchange. Thank you.